Hey, hello, good morning and welcome to New Thought Media Network. I'm Laura Topper and I'm going to give up on the intro because we don't need an intro today. It's not necessary. If you're here joining us, welcome, welcome, welcome. You are tuned in to New Thought Media Network on Mama Power, Unlock Your Mama Power. And I just feel so blessed this morning because you can see this beautiful mama goddess sitting next to me here. Well, not next to me, but in the UK, in another part of the UK, here on the screen with me, Debbie Clement Large, who is an amazing inspiration and friend of mine and colleague. Debbie is a global, world-renowned coach. She's a personal development coach, and she really absolutely believes, I know you do, Debbie, in wholehearted living. Debbie is a licensed spiritual practitioner of science of mind and an advanced life coach, a CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy practitioner, meditation practitioner, stress management practitioner, assertiveness coach, heal your life teacher. Wow. I mean, and I know that Debbie absolutely contributes with her coaching and membership groups and helps people to see that they can transform their own lives. So Debbie, welcome to Mama Power. It's just such a blessing to be here with you today. Welcome, Debbie.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Isn't this joyful, sparing this time with
It's amazing, and I'm just being really aware here that we have a time lag, but that's okay. Even though we're in the UK, we have a time lag. Debbie, tell me, I'm really interested. I know you and I know the work that you're doing and how powerful it is and how you're guiding women and men to really know the truth of who they are so that they could be, lead more fulfilling lives and have that understanding of a wholehearted life. And what does that mean for you? Because we were talking about values before and how we see others and don't always recognize it in ourselves. What does it mean for you to own that and really know that we have it all within us? We don't need to be looking outside thinking they've got it and I haven't, and it's not fair.
Oh, that is a wonderful question and such a big question. So what does wholehearted living? So wholehearted living means living your truth, living your life on your terms, not through the conditioning, but coming back to who you are. And I spent so many years living a conditioned life, as we do, many of us do, until I thought one day, actually, I don't really like the way my life is showing up. I don't like the way I'm feeling about certain things. I don't like the work I'm doing. I'd spent years studying, years climbing the corporate ladder, and it left me feeling unfulfilled. And I knew there was more. I knew I wanted more. So coming back to doing something now that just fills my heart with joy, making more conscious choices is a wholehearted way to live. That's what it means for me.
Oh, I love that. And I love what you've just said because I can resonate with that. That empty feeling, thinking that we're climbing this ladder trying to get to this place and actually then realizing we're on the wrong ladder.
Oh, my ladder was against the wrong wall. Definitely.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Wrong ladder, wrong wall.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I remember when I started part of my journey with Science of Mind, and you'll remember this too, was doing this wonderful exercise where I looked at the values and attributes of those that I admired. And I sat down and really thought, so I had numerous people, but I know one of the favorites that a lot of people have is Oprah Winfrey. And there is something about her sticking to her guns, sticking to her path, living her truth, despite being told you're going down the wrong path. But she knew she had the strength to listen to herself. And I admire her tenacity, her courage, her strength of character, and just being true to her. Yeah. And
what was it? No, you carry on. You carry on. Sorry, it's the time lag here, but I know you're going to say something juicy.
That's okay. And there's always this thing that what you see in other people resonates with you because there is part of that within you. You see it because it is there within. It may not be as developed within ourselves as it is with the other person, but there is that seedling that we can nurture and grow and support. And I knew that at an intellectual level. And then the other day, I suddenly realized when I looked back at my life and I thought, I'd studied for 6 years to become a chartered management accountant. That was my wrong ladder against a wrong wall. And I had the courage to give up that membership, even though the governing body said, "Are you sure? Really? You want to just pack it all in?" And I went, "Yes." My boss told me I was nuts. Other people told me I was bonkers. But in me, there was a way that thought, I'm coming home doing spiritual psychology work. This is me coming home. This is me from an interest when I was a teenager. And do you know what? I suddenly realized that those bits that I saw in Oprah Winfrey, I had them. I might not be on the global scale or everything that she is, but actually there I'd already demonstrated at my level, in my world, that I was already doing that and I hadn't recognized it.
Wow, Debbie, it's really powerful what you're saying. It's so powerful because I can identify with that, just putting myself down, thinking that I'm not good enough, and looking outside other people. And then there's that big bubble that goes off in my head. Oh, well, why are they where they are when I'm, and then it's so true what you're saying, that we are all demonstrating to the level that we are able to at this time. And so it's a reminder for me. Thank you for reminding me. And who, if you're watching right now and listening to Debbie, and she's talking about how what we see in others is already in us. It's already here and now. I think my earrings are clanging against my what we're seeing in others is already in us. These are the parts and the aspects of us that we deny. Why do we deny these things, Debbie? Why do we deny and not see these parts of ourselves?
I think there's an element to do with our conditioning. So when we're young, we don't give up on learning to walk. We all manage to walk on the whole, don't we? We don't get it at first, and then we try and we get encouraged and we fall down and land on our bums, and then we get back up again and give it another go until we master it. And everybody encourages us at that place. But then as we go to school and maybe we're good at art, we're told that's great when we're young. But as we reach our teenage years, maybe we're told that's great when you're small, but now you've got to become serious with your studies. You can't make money doing that. You can't get a career with art. You can't do this. You have to do science, or you have to do maths, or you have to do English subjects. You have to do what's expected and maybe even what you feel obligated to do. So we go off the wrong path and we stop being true to us. And then, like I did, we start comparing and looking at other people and thinking, I didn't do that. I did what was expected and I don't like it. And they're doing what they love. And that doesn't seem fair. And if we're not careful, our comparison can become lack and become frustration and become irritability and become unhappiness. We can either see the inspiration in it, or we can see the upset and the lack in it. And that choice is always ours.
Yes, and isn't it? And as young people, we're not often we often listen to those that we believe are nurturing us and caring for us, doing the best that they can, and they're giving out the messages that maybe they had in their growing up and passed down ancestrally, even, you know, through religion and through belief systems and economic structure and social acceptance. And yeah, I really, really resonate that there gets to be a point where I stood up and said in my life, and I stood up and said, actually, I'm just living someone else's life. And I've been doing it as a habit for so many years and not even enjoying it. And I know that when that happens, often it can feel like our world collapses in because everything kind of breaks down. Just as you're saying, you had to give up that job and the line of work and education that you were in. What gave you the courage to really stand in your truth and say, I'm against all odds, I'm going to do this?
There was something within me that was just pulling me to my roots, to saying, this is wrong. I felt stuck. On a Sunday night, I would dread going in the next day, and I would live for Friday. And as Friday went through, I'd be like, yay, it's nearly the weekend. Friday night was great. Saturday was lovely. And then Sunday was the downhill slope, thinking, oh no, I'm back in there again tomorrow. And I knew that I couldn't keep doing that. There is no joy. I'm not giving a gift to the world. Yes, I could qualify in 6 years, and I proved to myself I could do it in a subject which wasn't really in alignment with me. But is there any gift to the world? What am I sharing with my daughter if I'd stuck doing a job that I didn't like? What benefit would that be? And with restructure after restructure in the corporate world, I was fighting for a job I no longer wanted. And I had no energy, no enthusiasm, no vitality for that work. And I thought to myself, I either trust myself and do it, or one day I'll reach the end of my life and I'll look back and I'll think, I wonder what would happen if I had taken that chance. And I didn't want to get there and regret anything.
And that's a really powerful exercise also, isn't it? Writing out a eulogy. I've done that a couple of times. Writing it out as if it's my eulogy and I'm, you know, I've achieved this and I've done this and I've led this amazing life. And I find that a really powerful exercise. If you take away the emotion of what it really means, to see where then I may not be in alignment right now with living that, you know, because I looked at my mum recently. She's amazing. She's 80. I was going to add more years onto her. But I don't know if this has ever happened to you when you look at somebody that's older and that you really love and admire, and you think, well, I thought at that time, oh my gosh, it's only really another 25 years and I will be her age. And I've got to hurry up and really live my truth here and my heart's desire, because time just goes by and we tend to put off what we really know in our heart to be true for ourselves. And I love what you're saying, because this is about living in the joy and really accepting the joy that's in our hearts, isn't it? And owning it and actually getting on with it and doing it.
Yeah. And I would encourage anybody to think about who's on their wish list of who they admire, and think about those values and attributes, and then really look at their life. Really sit back and look at it through a fresh pair of eyes and think, where have I actually shown those values and attributes in my life, even in a small way. And if I can do it in a small way, that means I can do it in a slightly bigger way, and a bigger way, and a bigger way. And I can allow life to unfold and step into my fullest potential self. When I can trust that those little steps, even when they're tiny, that I so admire in others, are within me, and I can allow and feel the safety of allowing those to become bigger and bigger, and just seeing where the breadcrumbs of those take me, and trusting myself, and knowing that in each moment I have choice. And if I find this new path isn't what I thought, I can choose something else. I'm not locked in to anything. When I can release the fear of letting something big go, like a big career I've worked for years for, nothing after that feels scary, because I worked through it. And we all have that opportunity to look at our fears, release them, actually see what we really can do and have done, and step more into that. It's our what did Marianne Williams say? She said something about it's more our light that we're scared of rather than our darkness. And it's true. We can be.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I love what you're saying, Debbie. This is an amazing teaching that you're giving here. You know, for anybody that is watching here and listening, we're with Debbie Clement Large, who has her own amazing, beautiful coaching practice. Why follow the herd? Everything in that says it, you know, of what you believe in and what you stand for, Debbie. And what you've just said really resonates with me, because I'm feeling, which I know, you know, when we look at somebody and that we really admire, like Oprah, it's not that we're looking at that person to say, right, I want their life because they have this and they have that and they've achieved this. What you're saying is, which is true for me, is what are the values of that person has? How can I emulate those values and live my life by, you know, Oprah's values, her givingness, her philanthropy, her willingness to learn and grow and show up and be that big-hearted woman of power for the world. We can each do that in our own way. It doesn't have to be with a microphone and a stage, does it?
No, absolutely. It could be with our children. It could be with our aging parents and supporting them. It could be through our community and our neighbors. It could be in the work we do. It could be just in the willingness to get up and create a podcast or to share something written. You know, all these things can seem big to us in our way. It doesn't mean to say we have to have a big media network and have thousands and thousands of people watching us. It could be I walk past a homeless person and I say something or smile at them and acknowledge that they're there, that they're seen or they're heard. That, for me, that could be a throwaway thing, but for them, it could mean the world. We don't know the impact we're having on somebody else always.
Yeah, and we're so responsible for the ripple, for our own ripple, aren't we? We're so responsible for that level of consciousness, of being aware that whoever comes across our path is coming across our path for a reason, and that when we are the love, when we're giving that love and being that love for ourselves and them, we're living in this teaching, this philosophy, this new thought, science of mind teaching, which is so powerful, which basically recognizes that we are all one, and that if we're hurting ourselves or if we're hurting someone else, we're hurting ourselves.
Yeah.
If we're not being kind to someone else, we're not being kind to ourselves, because that ripple is attached everywhere.
Yeah. And I love that idea of that ripple, like the dropping stone of our thoughts or our beliefs rippling out. So if we look at somebody like Oprah and we say, oh, well, it's all right for her, she can do this, she's got lots of money, we're already seeing that sense of lack, that we can't do it, and we're rippling that out. We're passing that to our children, we're passing that to other halves and the people that we love and the neighbors. And all we can end up doing is feeling bitter and disappointed with life. And I can remember once seeing somebody interviewed. This was on British telly. And before the person being interviewed had even opened their mouth, you could see it was an older person and they were really lined. And their face was like lines in a scowl. You know, it was already set before they'd said anything. And then as soon as the interviewer spoke to them, the words that came out matched the lines that created the scowl on their face. And it was amazing. And I thought, I don't want to end up like that. And then a little while later, I thought, I'm heading on that journey. If I don't do something and choose something different, I am going to be that woman one day. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to create different ripples. So instead of having that envy towards somebody who is expressing what they want and I feel like I can't have it, can I choose to see it as an inspiration? That means there is somebody has created those breadcrumbs already that I have the potential to follow, one breadcrumb at a time. And if I can see the beauty in what they're doing, that means that beauty is in me and I can take those little steps. So instead of ending up as that scowly person, I can end up with a person that's got more of a heart of joy and feels that they're living from a wholehearted place.
Wow, Debbie, I just love everything that you're saying. There are so many gems in there that I want to pick out and have 4-hour cups of teas with you. Again. And we can't do that here because we have 8 minutes left, but I'm going to just talk about the one thing that I think was in there is that, yeah, we are responsible for how we are out picturing and how that ripple and following those breadcrumbs of the joy, which I know that you did when you stood up and you said, no more. This isn't the path for me anymore. I thought it was, and you followed it habitually and then woke up to realizing actually you have a choice. And that's the key thing here, isn't it? We have a choice in every moment, how we think about ourselves, how we see other people. And there's that one thing you were talking about, what came into my mind was on social media, how as women or men, I mean, I'm not really saying one or the other, but it's just because it's that divine feminine within us, that nurturing, loving place of, where we're allowing spirit to come through in a way that isn't pushing, but we're allowing. It's very different, isn't it? And when we're online, especially if we do run podcasts, and I know the work that you do with your visibility and your shows, and it's very easy to get caught up in that competitiveness, even to the degree of what our background is doing online, and whether we're staged properly and how Oprah might show up or how others might show up. I've given up on that now because I think, well, I'm here, I'm where I am, at the moment. What would you say to somebody then that really is in that place of comparison and suffering? Because there's suffering in that, isn't there?
Yeah,
I believe.
Is. Yeah, absolutely. And I've been there. I've definitely been there. I've been there in a personal way and I've been there in a workplace way. Yeah. And I think most of us have. And I've looked at other people and think, they're moving into a nice big house. Why can't I have a nice big house? Or they've got the promotion. Why? I've done all this work and I'm working hard. Why can't I get that promotion too? And where does that leave me? That leaves me, like you say, suffering. It leaves me feeling not enough, that somehow I'm lacking. But maybe that's not my path. Maybe life is telling me you need to change direction. Many years ago, I set off on this psychology type journey, personal development. And it's a bit like when a ship leaves a destination, it knows where it's going and it plots itself and checks in with its direction as it's going to keep itself on course. So I'd started off and then I changed direction and I ended up so far off course, just 1 degree at a time, moving and moving and moving. And then suddenly I was miles away from what I'd originally wanted. And that takes a big leap of faith then to turn and to say, do you know what, I'm going to move right back to where I really wanted. And it takes a leap of faith. And actually, we all have that within us if it feels the right thing to do. And the way I did it was a little bit by little bit. I set up my business and still worked corporately part-time. I did journaling, I did affirmations, I did imagery work. I chose my words carefully. And I went from being a place that was really scared to leave to the day when I left, I did. In my mind, I kept seeing this big leap of joy outside this building, of jumping up, the arms and legs up in the air, woohoo! And that was what I did the day I left. And I got somebody to take a picture of it. And I did this big yay! And I left with no fear. And it just felt the most weightlifting thing.
Oh, amazing. I love what you're sharing here, Debbie, because it's personal and yet it's really inspiring, you know, for all of us to know that we don't have to be in that place of suffering, do we?
No. I've never looked back. Since I've left, it was the best decision I've made in terms of my work. And I have absolutely no regrets. I feel this stuff to learn, you know, everything is unfolding and I've learned so much and I'm continuing to learn so much. It's a whole new field. I went from an expert to knowing, woo, what do I know? And it's been the most delicious journey. And I've met people I would never have met. I would never have met you if I hadn't have done this journey. What a difference, what a gap that would have caused.
Yes, it's amazing how when we say yes and we go on a whole new trajectory, how we then meet the people that inspire us, as you are inspiring me and so many people and the listeners right here on New Thought Media Network with what you're sharing. It's amazing, and taking that leap is so powerful, isn't it, Debbie? Taking that leap and knowing it in our hearts that even if it feels scary and lonely and frightening and frustrating, that if that is in our heart, it's where we're meant to be, and we will be supported. And that's where I believe that's where this teaching comes in for me personally, in knowing that in all of it, I'm always supported, even if I can't see it. More so if I can't see it, that I'm supported. And I know that you believe that too.
Yeah. And the more you start using your focus and thinking, I'm attracting all the support I need, it's amazing how many new people show up just the right time. And then as you gain in confidence and self-esteem, you start seeing, as we said at the beginning, about the values and attributes you admire in others. You start to see them and recognize them within yourself and even more in other people around you. And you feel more lifted up. You're not on your own. None of us are on our own, but we can feel alone in a world of 7.5 billion people.
Yes.
But we can have that choice to reach out and say, do you know what? I'd really like just at this moment to have a conversation because I'm struggling. Will you, will listen? And I'll know that I'll be there if, you need it or need a listen to, because sometimes we all need to be seen and heard, and it just helps to know that there's somebody there that's got your back when you're struggling to get your own.
Yes. Oh, Debbie, I want to talk and talk and talk with you, and I'm really aware that we're coming to the end of Mama Power, but I know that there are so many gems and jewels and treasures in everything you've shared so far. And I really would love to invite you back on to Mama Power to continue this conversation at another time, because the work you're doing is amazing. And people can find you on Facebook and your website, Why Follow the Herd.
And YouTube.
And reach out to you by email through your website if they want to know more about your work and are interested in working with you.
Yeah, absolutely. My website and my emails are the best way to understand, because I have lots of free stuff going on as well as other things. So it's really great if they want to join me in things like my conscious conversations on the last Wednesday of the month.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Debbie, for coming on this morning, well, this afternoon for us here in the UK. And thank you to everyone that's been viewing. And if you're watching this on the catch up, then this is Mama Power. I'm Laura Topper. This is Debbie Clement Large. And you are here on New Thought Media Network. If you love this network as much as I do, then stay tuned in. Keep watching the other amazing shows that are to come up today. And you can always give and donate your love offering. The link is down below to New Thought Media Network, which is a thriving network and ministry bringing this Mama Power broadcast and many others like it to you wherever you are in the world. So thank you, Debbie, for joining.
Thank you.
And love and blessings to you. And looking forward to you coming back on Mama Power very soon.
That would be wonderful. Thank you so much. Bye.
New Thought Media Network is on the rise. We're looking to grow with you. Do you have technical media experience or perhaps a desire to learn? Are you willing to volunteer your precious time and attention? We share this message to benefit all. If you possess a computer